What's up? Episode 130. Wow. What up? Let's have some fun on a Monday. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3. On in. Cheers. Wow. We'll discuss this in a second. Woo. I love it. The remote's back. All right, what's up, everybody? Oh wow, Dan P. I love that movie. We got a lot of people in here. Come on in. I'm not kidding. Tonight's gonna be good, really good. I mean, just wait. There's a lot. First things first. Can you hear me loud and clear? Let me know. Hey, Fallon, Mark, Rick Sherman, Dan P. Mama, what's up, Mama? Welcome. Come on in, Mama. William's in the house. Dan, who else? Oh, my gosh. Who else is in here? There's a bunch. Cassandra. So, if you're new, welcome. Please say hi. I mean, honestly, like, there's people that come in here and, like, hang out in the chat and never say hi. We are a chat show. Please, come on in and introduce yourselves. If you have some, what's up, Melissa? See, there's Melissa. Come on in. Honestly, when I have new people and they don't say anything, they're missing out because you are the guys that give me the ideas of what's going on here. It's a chatty show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I promise you. Amanda, see, I haven't seen her in a while. What's up? Welcome. It's chatty. There are point games. Look in the description of the show and watch, and you'll see people playing games and winning points in the chat. Hard to explain, but you'll see. You can also ask people in the chat what's going on. This drink today, I don't drink alcohol, ever, but I do like an occasional soda, and I love fake beer. And tonight, I'm doing one of my favorites, which I just recently named. Root beer, okay? And then you mix it with, woohoo, tonic water. So here's the deal. I, many years ago, started doing Coke and a little tonic at bars. It's great. I don't have a name for it yet. But then I started doing grape soda and tonic, and I call it a, oh, there's people chatting in here. I call it a King Kong. So I wanted to give this a name, and I did. I named it the Dirty Harry. So root beer and tonic water, a little more than, it's about 25% tonic water. It's delicious. It takes the edge off and adds a little tang. I don't know. Try it out. Also, if you have kids and you want to mix drinks, there you go. You can mix sodas. All right. I have a long list of notes today. And I have a lot of cool shows I've been planning. Now, one of the reasons why I haven't been on here so much is I've been really busy. And when I'm busy, I can't do these shows. So next Monday, I have a really cool show scheduled that I'm going to mention. But there is a tiny chance I can't do it. Why is my record skipping? This record should not be skipping. Okay. So there's a good chance I can't do it because I am in busy season. Now, I'm going to be honest. My October wasn't as busy as I wanted it to be with my show business stuff. But I'm back. I'm busy as hell. Like, this might be one of the busiest Decembers I've had in 10 years. I don't know. We'll see at the end. But I'm getting a lot of bookings, and believe me, I'm not complaining. I need work even more now than ever. pandemic. And so it's happening. So next week I have a gig on the table that might go through, might not go through. But if it doesn't go through, next week I'm doing a show that I've been thinking about for a while. It's going to be episode 131, and it's going to be called Sean Auberg's Rules of the Game. And I can't wait to do that episode. I'm basically... So Sean Auberg is the artist behind Dungeon Degenerates. He's also the author of Pork Magazine, and he does... Ba-boom! This is his new zine, Die Worst. He is an artist. He's one of my favorite artists on earth. He might be watching now. Hello, what's up, Sean? And, you know, I'm a fan of his DIY ethics, and I'm a fan of his artistic visions. And I really do put him on a pedestal of great artists. He's a punk rock artist. Let's not get that wrong. But he does it with a... he has his own vernacular, let's put it that way, and I really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, Dungeon Degenerates is 25% off on his website. He is not paying me to say this, just so you know. This is my favorite game in the world. So one day I was perusing his website, and I saw that he had this poster called The Goblin's Rules of the Game. All right, so I look at the poster, and it's one of the greatest little philosophical... aphorism collection I've ever seen. And it's not long. And I decided to do a whole episode on that. And I can't wait. It's 9 rules to life, ultimately, that I really appreciate coming from a punk rock gamer artist, low culture, mastermind, everything. So we're going to do a whole episode on it. Oh, yeah, Mr. Mealy, you know. Basil Wolverton. Interesting comparison. Yeah, so next week's going to be rad. Small chance I can't do it, but I'm pretty sure I can. Let's see. I wanted to get that out of the way. I have some news and some shows that I saw recently that I wanted to review and give a little shout out so that you might check them out over the holidays. A lot of people watch TV over the holidays. So I'm going to give you some recommendations in a second. I'm just checking here. I have a lot to say. I have been on a horror movie kick because of Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 has rekindled my love of modern horror. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm in 9th grade again watching these Terrifier movies. And so recently I saw his first film, All Hallows Eve, which is free on the Tubi app. Now, if you watch the show, you know I don't watch television. I turn my TV on only a few times a month. Recently, I watched a lot of movies. I have recently, which I don't do too often. So it was kind of exciting when I do get to watch TV. It was too much gore for your tastes. Yeah. It's gory, but it is. I don't know what to say. If you like, I don't even like realistic gore. Like, I don't like realistic violent films. I like, ew, Tubi. Is Tubi bad? I don't know. Why is that bad? What is it? What is wrong with Tubi? Please tell me. I like Tubi. It's cheap. It's free. And I don't really, have a lot of channels. So yeah, All Hallows Eve is the first appearance of Art the Clown. And I really, for low budget filmmaking, it's kind of glorious. I've seen it twice. I don't do that too often to new movies. So, also on Tubi, Terrifier 1 is on there. And I really do... Friday the 13th. You mean the original? Or the TV show? Other horror films I saw recently... Oh, just in, the app. I gotcha. Yeah, it's been my hobby, horror film stuff, William. Like, the behind-the-scenes, too, of it all. And I haven't been turned on by too many modern horror films. I mean, I loved Hereditary a lot. It's my favorite new horror. I did like the new Suspiria. So there's occasionally a big-budgeted film that I do like. But, I'm going to be honest, Terrifier series is my new favorite one. So, it's rekindled my love for the genre. Now, I did get to see the new Wednesday. produced by Tim Burton. And I have not seen The Riot yet. I want to let's chat about that. Here's what I have to say about the new Wednesday Addams TV show. 2 thumbs up. Loved it. I was expecting on not liking it. I'm a little burned out from Tim Burton, okay? I like him. My favorite Tim Burton movies are Pee-wee and Ed Wood. Yeah, by far. Other than that, Scissorhands is okay. I don't hate it. Sleepy Hollow I didn't like. Mars Attacks I despise. I'm not a fan of all of his movies. But his visions are very unique to him. And we all know what a Tim Burton movie looks like. I thought Wednesday had the vibe, but it wasn't all Tim Burton. I liked the little girl playing the part. I liked the premise. I liked the special effects. All right, interesting. I was going to say the new Gomez. So, I forget his name, the new Gomez. Guzman? I don't remember. So, here's the thing. I actually really like his physicality in the role. He looks like the cartoon. If you get out the old cartoon and look at the Gomez Addams, it's like, oh, it looks like him. The problem I had is he's a little marble-mouthed. He's like, like his cadence of speech pales in comparison to the previous Gomez's. I recently saw parts of the old films, and the Morticia Addams and the Gomez Addams, I don't think anybody's going to be coming close. They have a certain panache to their step and language. And to me, Gomez is supposed to be... It is a good pinball machine, Dan. Gomez is supposed to be... I don't know. To me, if I had to play that part, I would make him... Louis Guzman. Yeah, I like him. I think he's great. I just think we need somebody who can rattle off Shakespeare trippingly on the tongue, as the Bard himself would have called it. I want him to roll his R's. I want him to... I don't know. To me, Gomez Addams needs a little more. But here's the thing. There's side characters in the Wednesday show. They're not the main character. She is. Wednesday is. It's about her. Big Trouble. Yeah, a lot of people, that's their favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time is Flash Gordon. I don't even have to blink. I would say my second favorite... Well, I don't know. I don't have a second favorite. The movie... Suspiria, clearly, is one of my favorite movies. The movies that I've seen the most over and over and over again... Flash Gordon, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Evil Dead 2. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've seen millions of times. A lot. Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. Those are the ones that I've seen over and over and over again. But I thought Wednesday was really good. Rocky Horror, yay. Brazil, love it. That's your favorite movie, Rick Sherman? Brazil? Wow. Raul Julia, there you go. Yes, so Raul Julia had a trippingly tongue. A dashing tongue. I mean, his speech is great. I like the new Suspiria. I'm going to be quite honest. I like it almost as much as the original. It's different. It's like the Goodfella version. That's my short one-line review. But I will watch the rest of the Wednesdays. I don't know when. There's a bunch of episodes, and I don't have 8 hours to do that. So eventually I will get around. But if you haven't seen Terrifier 2, like I've only seen Terrifier 2 1.5 times. I'm excited to see it again. Oh, Santa Sangre, Blue Velvet, and Eyes Wide Shut. Santa Sangre's a harsh watch, but I do enjoy it. That's the one with the elephant in it, correct? Yeah. Blue Velvet, amazing. Eyes Wide. So Eyes Wide Shut is interesting because the first time I saw it, I hated it. The second time I saw it, I thought it was pure brilliance. That's how you know it's good. It's subtle. Yeah, Raul Julia had so much passion and confidence in his role. Yeah, he is good. Hell, okay. Wow, Hellraiser and the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Interesting. I like Freddy 2 the best, and 3. But I do like the original. I mean, I like the new Hellraiser movie. I know Rick Sherman in here, my buddy, he did not like it. A lot of people didn't. I loved it. I want to watch it again. So yeah, my horror movie kick has been moving. So here's some new news, and I want to show a couple. This is gonna be a long episode, folks. I hope we have people in for a cozy evening. Grab a drink and make some popcorn. I'm very verbose tonight. I have a lot of. So, I have some news announcements. I have some videos I'm gonna show that you're gonna like. That one of them no one's ever seen before. So hold tight. I've been playing some games recently. So as the weather gets bad and I'm home alone a little bit and doing some stuff, oh, you didn't like the new Hellraiser, Mealy. Okay, we gotta chat. Because I liked it. I like the ending. I've been playing games. So I've been on my second campaign of Dungeon Degenerates. The first campaign I did of this game lasted almost 4 years. One game. And it was great. The new campaign is new, and being back in the world of Dungeon Degenerates again, it's even more fun the second time around because my characters are kind of weak, and I'm having to really use my knowledge of how to survive. So I've been playing that. I've been playing Hellraiser, the board game. Again, another solo board game. I'm a fan of the solo board game. But when I'm with my family, we do play these things. So me and my little girl, Moonlight, played Dungeon Degenerates the other day for 4 hours. Now, the reason why I'm telling you about it is there's not many games where playing the game isn't really always playing the game. Sitting around and choosing what your skills are going to be is also playing the game. And we spent almost 2 hours playing the game and discussing what we were going to do with our turns for almost 2 hours. And then we played for another, 2 hours of turns. Not many games are like that, where it's just fun sitting there planning out your turns. I mean, really, that's what it is. It's an immersive game like no other. So that's where I've been with my game world. And I will do a Boardgasm episode soon. And I haven't decided what it's going to be on yet. There are some new games coming out. I might do a general one. I usually like to teach something specific or explain something. The other videos I want to do are, hey, what's up, sis? My sis is in here. And my mama. What's up, family? The other thing I want to do is I want to do another magic method video. The ones where I teach magic. Literally, I'm a teacher. Here we go. Let's learn magic. I do give magic lessons professionally, so I like doing these shows. So I want to know from you guys, what do you want to learn? I like teaching laymen better than pros. I mean, I do give lessons to magician types, and I also consult, but I like teaching people that aren't magicians about magic, and I like showing them tricks that are easy to go put in your daily life of showing people, and then hard ones that take years to master. Well, you can learn from me, Alex. If you look on my channel, Magic Method, there's videos on there, and they're pretty good. Like, you'll learn tricks. So normally, I'm thinking a lot of people like watching me make playing cards appear. It's one of the hardest things to learn how to do. Maybe I'll do one where I give the basics of that. I know I taught how to do one card. I think I could do a literal hour or two on doing 5 cards, making 5 cards appear. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, well, lesser magic, William, I will never stop talking about that, and that is always probably the most, the subject I can talk literally about also, you know. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You asked me to do a trick. Yeah, see? Dan P is a teacher, and he learned how to do some of the card stuff a little bit. Like, he can card spring. So, as he can see, you can use magic no matter what your professions are. It really does change the zone. I mean, to me, lesser magic, if you do a magic trick, you are doing lesser magic in a sense, because you're capturing someone's imagination. Hey, Kate! How are you? Cheers, and Taj. Cheers, Taj. A shout out to you and your mama. Okay, let's keep moving here. Because, dude, I got a lot. Kate, you're going to like tonight's episode. So I am going to do a magic method. I don't know which one or where. I'm not sure yet. But if you guys throw some suggestions, I listen. I mean, these chats, this isn't BS. I do pay attention. Cool. So on that note, I am going to show you a short video. So anybody here that got my playing cards, where are they? They're called the Satanic playing cards. Me and my partner, my art partner, he and I designed this deck of cards, and almost everybody should have their cards. If you're watching this and you didn't get your cards yet, send me a message and I'll personally ship them no matter what the cost. Some people got lost in the shuffle. When you do a Kickstarter, it's crazy, especially when you're doing it yourself. So I know there's a couple people in Europe that still haven't gotten it yet for some reason. I don't know, because I'm not shipping the European ones. Some people signed up and paid a little extra for the reward of learning. The card sleeves. I know, that would be cool. Hey, Fallon, thank you very much. So I don't hustle tips like hustle, but when people tip me, it means a whole hell of a lot because I do this full time. So thank you, Fallon. In the description, there's tipping links, and thank you. It really means a lot. So, what the hell were we just talking about? Oh, the satanic cards. So, basically, we're going to shoot a bunch of videos of things you can do with the satanic playing cards. And one of them, there are 3 special cards in that deck just for magicians. And here's a trick you can do with them. And I'm going to play it now. Thank you very much, William. Yeah, so, Rick Sherman, you know what these cards are like. All right, so Rick, I'm going to show the video. Rick Sherman's a professional magician, and he also reviewed this video. And it's funny, I'm going to mention what you said about it, because this type of magic, believe it or not, is not what I normally do when I do magic shows. If you hire me to do a show, you're not getting what I'm about to show you. But how much are they? Well, they're not for sale yet to the general public, but they're probably going to be $40 a pack because of how rare they are at this point. We only have a few left, and I don't know if we're going to reprint them, but we'll see. Maybe they're going to be $25, $30. We'll see. Here. So I'm going to show you a trick called the Devil's Monty, using 3 cards from the deck of cards that we had made. And enjoy. I think you'll like this. You're the first people to see it. Hey, what's up? Come on in. My name is Cardone, and this is the performance of the Devil's Monty. And I'm going to do it right now. Check it out. So here's the story. There was a gentleman in a cafe, and he was just sitting there with 3 cards out in front of him on the table, and he was clearly waiting for somebody to come up and say, hey, what's up with those 3 cards? And somebody eventually did, and he said, look, let me show you. That is a skull and crossbones. The card underneath it is also a skull and crossbones. And the one underneath that is the one you got to remember. That one is the money card. It's a bag of gold. You find that one and you win a gold coin. That's right. Look, that's the card to remember. Not that one, not that one. This one right here. You find that and you win some gold. And if you make a mistake, you give me a gold coin. Would you like to play a game? Well, the guy didn't have anything to do that day, so he said, sure. The top card, that's the bag of gold. And he said, actually, that's the skull and crossbones. You owe me a gold coin. Well, the guy thought, well, if that's not it, the one underneath it has to be it. And he said, nope, that's another gold coin. Well, if that's not it, the one underneath that one surely had to be it. And he said, actually, that's 3 gold coins you owe me. Well, the guy paid him the 3 gold coins and said, I'm done. I'm out of here. And then the man said something. He said, look, don't go yet. Now the money card isn't the bag of gold. It's the skull and crossbones. Huh? Yeah, find the skull and crossbones and win the prize. Win a gold coin. Well, he said, there's one on the top. And he went, Actually, that's a bag of gold. Wait, what? Well, if that's not the skull and crossbones, the one underneath it, that has to be the skull and crossbones. And he said, actually, guess what? That's another bag of gold. Well, if that's not it, and the one before it's not it, then that means this one has to be it. And he said, nope, that's another bag of gold. That's 6 gold coins in total. The guy was done. He said, I quit. I'm leaving. I don't want to play anymore. I don't even have any more money. And the guy said, no, one more game. Look, tell me what this card is, and you can have all your money back. And the guy said, no, I don't want to play. I don't have any money. And he goes, no, look, I'm going to make it easy. Tell me what this card is, and I will give you your money back. And you don't have to pay me if you lose. If you lose, I get your soul. What? Yeah, I get your soul. Well, that's stupid. All right, I'll guess. The money bag is the last card. And he went, pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. And that, my friends, is the Devil Monty. Okay, that's it. You got to see it. You guys are the first ones, so I hope you liked it. It's based on an old school trick called Color Monty that I learned when I was a kid. Now, somebody said, so much sleight of hand. Yeah, but if you signed up for the package deal, you get a video teaching you how to do it. And for sleight of hand technique, it's actually obtainable by a newbie. It really is. That's why I teach the trick. Thank you. So yeah, very simple. Now I'm going to shoot another video, and my partner Stuart is going to shoot another video too. His video is going to be a different version of that trick, and then I'm going to do another version of the old school 3-card Monty where you actually bend the cards a little bit to throw them on the table. And that's what I do in my real show. I don't use these kind of cards in my show. I use like regular playing cards. Thank you very much, everybody. I like that trick. It's just not my performance style in mingle magic format, meaning where I walk around a corporate gig and do tricks. I don't have time to tell a story. I have to hit them over the head with like visual stuff like right away. They're signing their names on things and it's jumping into my pockets and stuff like that. Cool. All right, keep moving here, and then we're going to get to the main subject. I want to give a shout out to the Little North Pole. Now, if you don't live in Rockaway Beach or New York City, you've never heard of this. I could use a double push-off. It's true. Very true. So, Little North Pole, there's a local resident here, Joe Murray, who does an event every year where he decorates his house Griswold style for Christmas, and I believe last year's the year he won the TV show. So they actually won the TV show, but they've been doing it for 15 years as a fundraiser for type 1 childhood diabetes. And here's the cool thing, like, it turned into a block party, a neighborhood block party where it's $20 all you can eat Italian food trucks. And Wit's End, my one of the restaurants I do magic in was there, Wit. And it's $20 donation, all you can eat. All the money goes to the research, and then, they hit the button. Well, every year, certain people would show up for support, and Tony Circo, Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos, he had been coming there for over, 12 years, I guess, and he passed away last year. A lot of the gangster actors, the big ones, died last year, and he was a big one. So this year, guess who shows up? Little Steven. He came. And it's funny because Little Steven, I wish I didn't get to go up and say hi to him because it was a mob scene at this block party, and he went up and he's the guy that hit the button to activate the lights. But I got to gig for him once, magic. He hired me to do a private party for his record label. He had a little record label that he would produce bands, and he threw like a holiday party, and I was the magic guy. It was like 12 years ago. It was a while ago. But he's a really nice guy. And a lot of people forget that he's the guitar player in the E Street Band, for silliness sake. So, anyhoozle. All right. let's keep moving here because I think I'm going to hit the main subject, and it's a very passionate one for me. I want lots of input. So what did I forget? Games, blah, blah, Little North Pole. Oh, yeah, shout out to Little North Pole. I ate a lot of food, and the show they did was fantastic, and it's a good cause. Devil's Monty, What to Watch. Oh, yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, by the way. I do like Thanksgiving. I like cooking. This year I didn't cook, but I do like that holiday. What do people always post that it's like the day of gluttony, which it clearly is. It's the day where we overeat and pretend like we're thankful. But I wouldn't say the word pretend. I would say we overeat and instead of, we're celebrating by consuming, being grateful of how lucky we are. It's kind of fascinating. So anywho, let's keep moving. This is the big subject tonight. I put the title tonight, it's episode 130, Politics and Showbiz and Other Stupidity. And I wanted to get a little bit of a beginning on why I'm doing this. And I'm gonna go into my thinking position. It really is true that I think better when I sit in the lotus position. I don't know why. Kids, it's not a sin if you don't believe in the thing that deems it to be a sin. Yep, some of the people you yep, William. So, okay. So here's my thing about politics and like even this show. The only thing I ever talk about on this show politically, I go into free speech stuff. I'm speaking on a platform that does not have free speech. So I like free speech cases. I'm a free speech absolutist. Absolutist all the way, even the bad stuff. I'm also a big proponent in self-protection and guns. So whatever you want to go for, those are the two subjects I don't mind talking about publicly for a few reasons. A, I've done a lot of thinking and research on it. I mean, a lot. More than 99% of the population. So those two I don't mind throwing around, but even those I don't bring up in my performances, meaning when I'm getting booked to do a show. On this show, I will talk about those subjects. Other than that, I keep out of it. I do. There's too many subtle details that unless I have time to talk about all the details, I would rather not discuss, right? That's basically how I, that's why I don't go into politics. There's too many nuances. I'm not very black and white. There's too much gray to go over. And unless I have time to go over the gray, I ain't going there. So, that said, I work primarily, my job, the thing that pays my bills, I work at private events. And I also work at public events. And when I say public events, I mean everything from a nightclub to a Jewish temple throwing a party for the neighborhood. Okay? It's that variety. There's the variety. I do a burlesque show, and then the next day I'm doing a bar mitzvah at a Jewish temple or at a shopping mall doing a show. Who knows? I do a lot of different weird shows. And so I also work in the nightclub business where people buy a ticket and they go sit with a drink. Instead of it being a stand-up comedian on the stage, it's a juggler and a burlesque performer and an aerialist and then me, the magic guy, and then a comedian. It's always different. So I do that too. So in that world, I would say in the last 10 years, since Trump came to office, about then, it became okay to just scream and yell about all things politics in that setting, the nightclub setting. I don't ever see it in the private setting. But in the nightclub setting, I definitely hear people... religion's the other one. Like, I forgot, I didn't even mention discussing religion. I do feel comfortable discussing religion, but I need time to discuss it. So in passing, I don't say anything. But if I have time to actually sit and go over the details, I will talk about it. I usually know more about religion than the person I'm talking to that's of that religion. Like, how many Christians do you know that have read the Bible back to back, the Bhagavad Gita cover to cover, the Quran, the Book of Mormon cover to... I've read them all. Some of them a few times. So I feel comfortable speaking about those things, even if it's with a priest or a rabbi or whatnot. I do like Greek mythology too. So I was in, many settings where people bring up some sort of political joke, or they make fun of Trump, or they make fun of, now Elon Musk is now the new Trump. I hear people throwing his name out as a jab. I also hear, I'm trying to think, Alex Jones is somebody. I'm like, why are you bringing up these people? Like, people are either fans or not of those people. And so this is what I wanted to break up. I wanted to look philosophically at what it means. And why someone would want to bring up politics in a nightclub setting, in a show, in an actual show. Why would you joke? Even if it's a joke, why would you joke? Which version of the Bible did I read? Okay. I've read the New American Catholic Bible, whatever that one is, and King James. But I've looked at many verses in all of them, and I've actually sat and compared them. I've done it where, like, if I find a Bible verse that I want to chew on for a minute, I'll go look and see all the different versions. Some Bibles mention unicorns and some don't. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. I've read a bunch. Yeah, I prefer the TSB too, but that's just me. So, honestly, my question is, why somebody would bring up politics? What do you get? What is the will to power of it? And as soon as I started thinking about it, my head started rushing, and I was like, I got to talk about this on the show tonight because there's too much to this. So, for instance, what are my goals when I walk on stage? What is my action? To do what? To please the audience, to make them have fun. To what am I trying to do? Well, first of all, I would say everybody who walks on stage to do a show, you want the audience to like you, right? Your mind isn't like, God, I hope they hate me. God, if I suck in a second, it's going to be great. Now, Gigi Allen, yes, Mealy, we're getting there. Yes, the in-group buttons, yes. Okay, well, the offended part, that's the other thing. So, we'll get to that. This is so juicy, I can't wait. So, you want people to like you, unless you're Gigi Allen and you're like, I'm going to walk out and throw poop on the audience and they're going to run up and beat me up and it's going to be awful, but they're never going to forget it. Okay, that's different will to power. It's legit. It's fair. But in a sense, they're still liking the situation. There's still a joy to that of some sort, even though it's frightening. So, you want people to like you. When I'm backstage, I'm not like, God, I want them to like me. That's not how I look at it. My brain is going, I'm going to make friends tonight with a large group of people. That's how I do it. I was never taught that. It just seemed what it was. I'm going to walk out to a bunch of strangers who don't know anything about me, and I have to make friends with them. Like, how am I going to conduct business? How am I going to get them to trust me so that I can do something that's going to create a moment of impossibility and wonder? They got to like me. That's why I like magic so much. You're making an outrageous claim. I have magic powers. Whether it be, I have real magic powers, as the claim, or I have fake magic powers and you're going to pretend like you believe them for a minute, which is also odd, but it's a claim. To get someone to go along with that, they got to like you. If they hate you, none of that's going to work. So if I'm walking out on stage, I want the audience to like me. by mentioning how much I hate the Democrats or the Republicans or whichever team you're on, okay, ultimately that joke or line or whatever you're saying is leading to the ultimate goal, which is for the audience to like you and what you're doing. So that means the performer is assuming that the group is already 99% on his side. I will say high percent, like 98%. Not 80%. High number. So the performer wants the audience to like him. So, in magic we have things called hack lines. Those are jokes that lots of magicians use that guarantee a chuckle. For instance, hi, whoever's watching, can I please see your hand? And when the audience member puts their hand out, you go, no, the clean one. And then the audience laughs, right? So those jokes, they get a laugh. They're not great, but they do get a chuckle. So it's a little, like, again, why would you do that? To get the audience to like you, right? So if I walk out and I'm like, Joe Biden's an idiot, or Trump's whatever, a bigot, a thief, whatever it may be, you're saying it with the hopes that the audience agrees, right? What if you walked out and made what if the comedian walked out and made some joke about Trump or somebody from the right, and literally at that moment they realized, oh my God, it's like 90% Republicans here or whatever. Like, that doesn't happen. That would never happen, right? So they're under the assumption that the audience is on their side, and by going, like Mr. C.R. Mealy said, it's you winking, we have the same values. That's what it is. I realized it right there. Like, they're like, hi, my name is blah, 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 and boop, guess what? I guarantee you, we're all in the same. It would literally be like walking out to a group that's 90% Christian or Jewish, and you pull out your cross or your Star of David or high, what's it called? A high, the little symbol, whatever it may be. It's like walking out and going, and then the whole audience are like, yeah, right? To me, that's what the political joke is. Now, it's funny because for some reason, it's always irritated me. And I never knew why. I'm non-political. I don't care who you vote for. So it doesn't... Oh, yeah. Why does a dissenting opinion get... Oh, yeah. Yes, Fallon. Okay. Yeah. You're right, Fallon. This is what it's getting to. It's getting weird. And so... It would be funny if somebody made a political joke and then got a little bit of a yell back. Like if that was part of it. Like if I went out and made a joke about something I didn't like and someone yelled back and we got to go at it a bit, just for fun. Like that would be cool, but that's not how it works anymore. Like in the old days, you could go into a group of Republicans or Democrats and make a joke against them in lighthearted fun. And I remember hearing that when I was a kid. Nowadays, it never is like that. Yeah, who's in the room, I wrote. Enemies, colleagues, who is it for and why, and what do you gain? So you walk out and you spout out your values. So now I'm guessing the reason why it irritated me, and I'm not offended by it. I'm going to sneeze. Party time. Wow, there's so many good comments tonight. I love it. So basically, what gain? Why am I annoyed by it is what I'm trying to get at. And I think I know why. Thank you. Bless me. Grazie. The reason is when somebody walks out in an entertaining venue, meaning you're there to be entertained, people are drinking, and you're like immediately showing your core values with the audience. How many people mention their religion when they walk out and do a show? right away. The only people I know in showbiz in New York that do it are Jewish guys. They'll make a Jewish joke. But Christians don't go out and go, hi, I'm a Christian. It never happens. Never. Never see it. I've never seen that. I've never heard someone walk out and say they're a Muslim. I have heard most Jewish entertainers walk out and mention they're Jewish. It is what it is. I'm literally thinking of all my Jewish friends that do shows, and they all kind of mention it in some way, shape, or form. So, that would be a value signal, I would say, right? I guess that's more, you could say the Jewish one's more cultural. There's a value to it, but it's definitely, there's a food and an outfit that goes with it, right? So it's more of a cultural thing. So like, a Christian wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be necessarily, quote, cultural. It would be more like, it's my religion. Whereas a Jewish guy coming out and going, making some joke about eating matzah ball soup, it's obviously culture, right? That's what I would say. Yeah. That's the difference. But walking out and making a jab at a political opponent, you're basically saying whose team you're on and who you voted for. Now, it always irritated me because, to me, that's a really weird way to make friends with somebody. I will say, if you're trying to con somebody for real, that's one of the commandments of the con man. Find out who you're trying to con, what their political leanings are, and you have the same ones. That's it. You're mirroring them, and there's a mirror right there. The other one is Hasidim. What about Hasidim? But I don't believe. Oh, that's a good joke. Hasidim, but I don't believe him. Wait, what's this about removing books? Ooh, I'm missing this. Folks, if you're not reading the chat, read it. It's meaty. I love it. So I don't like it when people virtue signal. And if you are going to virtue signal, I'd rather it be in an artistic manner, which we'll get to that in a second. So I don't like it because I think it's an easy way to walk out and quote, make friends on a really weird premise, as opposed to walking out and people just like you for your honesty, your skills that you've put time on, and your willingness to share them with the audience. So when I'm backstage, I'm like, all right, I'm going to walk out and make friends with a big group of strangers, and I'm going to give them a present. Something, yeah, I've spent my whole life practicing and doing, but in this very moment, right now, the present I'm going to give them is pretty easy for me to pull off because I've devoted my life to it, and we've come to this moment, and I'm just going to walk out, and there's the strangers, and blah, I'm going to do my thing. That's how I look at it. And I always have. And so, on that, I would never walk out and tell them who I voted for, or didn't vote for, or what I think of the voting, what I think of it anyways. Why would I do that? It's just weird. To me, it's really weird. I never would do it. It's so awkward. It's also like sex jokes. I don't make, like, the only quote sex joke I think I have in my show is when someone reaches in my pocket, I go, yeah, go ahead, reach in, grab it. Hey, don't get fresh. I say that. That's it. I mean, that even with kids around, it's not even it's like a grandpa joke. So my question is, why would you want to inject politics? Well, let's just say you have the burning desire to teach the world that your values are good and that you want to go out and spread them to the world. That's not how I look at it, but let's just say that's who you are and you want to do that. And you're going to use your juggling act to be the means for that. Or you're like, I'm going to take my stupid juggling act, and there's going to be a few moments where I educate people, whether it be on a political thing or whether it be political or even something like, like the people that do a show and at the end and they drop the J-bomb, the Jesus bomb. A lot of magicians, there's a lot of Christian magicians. They do a magic show and they're like, oh, the real magic is Jesus. So all right, that's fine, but you just really alienated a large group of your audience. So again, okay, let's say you want to do that. Let's say you want to put a message in there. Let's say you don't perform for money. You do it to do the message. Great. Well, how do you do that without annoying somebody like me? So if you're the type that has to do that and you have a burning desire to preach your politics in your shows, well, here's a little advice, something that I learned not recently. So I like writing, and I used to hate writing. I really did. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. Up until about 3 years ago, I didn't even think of myself as a writer. Now I write every day. A lot, too. And God, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, well, I know where I'm getting at. So I realized that when I wrote one of my essays that I post publicly, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, that I was getting likes, comments, and private messages from people on very opposite ends of the political spectrum and value spectrums, both agreeing on the same page, usually about things that I don't think they would ever agree on. And when I see it, I'm like, oh my God, it worked. My idea worked. Here's all my idea is. I'm mindful of the words I choose that will. I'm mindful of the words I choose that will put me in a box. And I've talked about this on the show, and I'm curious of your thoughts. I go out of my way to do it. I had to learn how to do it because it's so hotbed. And here's what I learned. Our data processors, our brains, right? We evolved to put things in boxes. It helps us understand them. It helps us survive. So if I use the word, what's a good word that you can just, if I say the word libtard, God, that guy's a libtard. You're like, he's a right-winger, he voted for Trump, he's a Republican. I mean, you don't even have to blink, boop, right? If I would use the word, you're a spreader of misinformation, you're a dumb Biden supporter, clearly. You're one of those dummies. You're not for free speech. You're in that team. You're a Democrat. So those words are these hot. They literally use them in the White House briefings, the news. They give memos on which words to start using. They literally started using, when our gas prices started going up, the Putin price hike. It was like they wrote it down. They start calling it the Putin price hike and saying it over and over and over again. And all the White House briefings. I remember going, the Putin price hike, What do you mean the Putin price hike? It's crazy. They hired an ad agency to name this phenomena that, now we know it has nothing to do with him. I mean, it's not real. So they hire these ad agency people to do it, right? So if you don't use those words, people don't know what box to put you in. They're like, wait, it's pure. It's going straight to a value. And that's the next thing I was going to say is, if you're going to debate, let's say I'm going to debate, and I don't even want to use the word debate. Let's say discuss the politics of a human being able to own a gun, whether it be a pea shooter or an assault weapon, whichever. Instead of discussing the rights to own a gun, why not discuss literally on its core value what it means for self-protection and self-preservation, and what's the nuance to that, right? If you go to the core values, you can get the people, at least I've been able to, that are like, I hate guns, they should ban them, to understanding what it means. Like, for instance, I always tell people, the catchphrase. Yeah, exactly. Like, for instance, here, Republican, I'll tell you that. Very awkward. I like that. Yeah. So, well, I was going to tell a story. Oh, I love reading this. Which conversation? Because there's a delay here. So honestly, when I realized that if I went to values at their core, like, okay, oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to give an example of, so when I tell people, did they know that in New York State, if someone breaks into your home, the law says you're supposed to run away? Yeah, I'm pro-gun, but pro-smart. Yeah, me too. Yeah, so, okay. So people don't realize that the law in New York says you have to run away if someone breaks in your home. And you're only allowed to bodily harm the person, i.e. bludgeon them or shoot them, if you know they're trying to hurt you. So now you're at home watching TV, eating popcorn, and now you have to turn into a psychic. Well, first you have to run away, and then if you can't, you have to be a psychic before you can take action against a stranger in your home. So honestly, when you start with that as like, okay, don't you think that's a little weird? Like, don't you have a right to, like, if someone's in your home, you don't need to know why they're there. If there was an emergency and someone needs to be in your home, they're not going to be standing looking through your drawers in your bedroom. If someone's looking through my drawers in the bedroom and I don't know who they are and I give them a, like, leave, or they look like they're edgy, I will shoot them. I won't even think about it. I don't need to think about it. So, oh yeah, well, they're all bishops in Marriott. Marriott's basically a theocracy. At least it seems like it. Well, again, now we can get into what's a weapon of mass destruction. You can I can go to the pool store and get some gasoline and make a weapon of mass destruction in 5 minutes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets to be very gray. Well, you can make missiles too and bombs, and they're actually quite easy to make. That's the other thing people don't realize. So, on that note, what I'm getting at is if you need to discuss things, there are ways to do it that you can gain ground, not lose ground. And one of them is pay attention to the words you're using. Pay attention to the talking points. That's what it is. They're talking points. You know, if you mention Twitter now, that you're a fan of Elon Musk and Twitter, you're put in the right-wing category. Right away. Whoop, right wing. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, honestly, it got to be really weird, like, of who's right-wing. Jimmy Dore's considered right-wing now because he was against the COVID lockdowns and the no policy. Like, he got hurt by the vaccine big time. Like, he's one of the guys that got really messed up from it. So they put him in the right-wing box for even questioning it. I mean, literally, there's websites calling him a right-winger. And I'm like, dude, he is very left-leaning and also very, like, on the progressive-y left side. So that's what blew my mind. I was like, wait, they're juggling this in a very weird manner. And a lot of it has to do with the talking points. The Anarchist Cookbook, eventually you won't be able to buy. I promise you, they'll ban it. It'll be, I know in certain countries I think it's banned, and there's a really good movie about the Anarchist Cookbook. The guy that wrote it regrets writing it. I like it. I have a copy. I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is get that book, and you can learn how to make everything you need. There's also other books on the subject. They're easy to find. You can look at them for free online, most of them too. Mr. Mealy, I know. Yeah, he was one of the big green guys, and now he's an evil man because he's yelling about free speech. I mean, one of the things people were saying about him is, out of all the rich kooks out there, he's the only one that's like, I would like to have a place where we can literally try to have some sort of semblance of free speech with a set of rules that we post and not keep hidden and mysterious. What the platform I'm on now is all the rules are hidden and mysterious. Anybody that thinks that's good is a fool. I'll explain. If I have a little kid and I'm trying to raise him, what's up, Camilo? If you have a little kid and he does something bad and you go, bad, never do that again. And he goes, what did I do? And you go, you have to figure it out. And you keep hitting him until he admits to what he did. And he's like, no, I don't know what I did. Did I do something wrong? That's what's going on. So, I mean, honestly, that's how the platforms are operating. They don't tell you what you did wrong. Why? Because they change their, like China, they change their free speech laws dependent upon who's paying for the commercials. It's clear. There's no hiding that. What's it say? Oh, he did support DeSantis? All right, there you go. He's picking a Republican, I believe, for reasons of the free speech stuff. So there you go. You downloaded the Anarchist Cookbook on AOL. Wow. Nowadays, if you would download that, you would get put on a watch list or something, probably. Yeah. Dude, listen, Fallon, open source those social media rules. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. They're trying to make money. Everything's about making money. Nobody's doing this. So that's why somebody rich like Elon, who's like, look, I'm rich and don't care anymore. If he's like, I'd like to have some sort of semblance of a free speech thing, I'm at least listening. I might not trust him all the way because he's, again, a rich billionaire, but at least he's discussing it. At least he's brought it out. And the fact that he said it and then got criticized for it, that's weird to me. I mean, I'm trying to take no sides here, and it's like the things that they're criticizing him on, to me, are clearly not that. Knowledge is for all. Yeah. But we have a history of knowledge, not of the man, the powers to be, the governments or religions, because religion was government for many years and still is in certain places. They don't like open knowledge because it might discredit where their power lies. So I get why that is the way it is. I don't think it's weird. I think it's not great, but I see why it is that way. It's a will to power. Everybody's trying to get power and then hold it. And to hold it, you have to have a series of rules. Here's something interesting. I always thought if the gods above came down to earth and they appointed me as the president of the world, and they said, all right, we like you and you get to pick the system in which you rule the earth. You got to pick one of these political systems. Let's say it would be what we have here, what Canada has, what Sweden has, what China has. Out of those, which one would I pick to rule the world? I would pick what China has. Now, I don't like that. I would not want to live under those rules. But if I'm the boss, a fake version of democracy, a version of communism disguised as a democracy, where we let people get a little rich, but you cannot criticize the government's decisions on any way, shape, or form. I would choose that. As a will to power, to hold power, that's pretty good. To live as a civilian, I would still choose what we have here in the United States. It's not perfect, but I do think our free speech law is the best one in the world. If somebody knows a better one, show it to me. I'm curious. This is interesting. Competition, but yeah, well, competition is will to power. It's reality. Yeah. So, Dan, I'm with you. So, I said earlier I don't talk politics and these things. It doesn't mean I'm not interested. I do watch a lot of political stuff, a lot. And I do have some close friends that we do discuss politics. They're close friends. We go through the details. I like learning about politics and things like that because it allows me to position myself. Like, it allows me to figure out what I need to do to live good. If things are leaning in one direction, I might have to change up the ways I'm making money, or who knows, right? So I'd like to see where the politics of things are deterministically aiming towards, like where's it going, But yes, okay, so CNN and Fox News are like the opposites, right? But now it's funny. I don't think that's going to be the case very soon. CNN has a new boss and a new ownership, I believe, and they have already changed their tone. And Fox went from Republican to almost more libertarian because I think they realized they would get more people. They'd get people from the left tuning in. So, well, you're right, Fallon. When did news have an opinion? So here's what I would say to that, to play devil's advocate. It's always had an opinion because the news of the past was propaganded on a different level. That's what I would say. So like in the old days, newspapers, like during the World War II, they were basically like, here, read that. And if it's fake, it doesn't matter. It's good for our soldiers. It's different. It's very different. The other thing is, if you go back farther than that, where people didn't read, and the only news they would get is what their neighbor would tell them, the whole game changes. This is why it's fun to study, like, the Revolutionary War. And, like, how did people hear what was going on? It was mostly rumor and hearsay, you know, and these big movements would happen. So, right. So I would say that. Like, a lot of people think Tucker leans hard right. I would say he leans more libertarian than hard right, especially nowadays. At least his rhetoric is that, you know. I would say on the left-leaning news, a lot of those anchors are starting to get more middle of the road too. That's what I heard CNN's going to do. They're going to start to lean more libertarian now because they realized they went so far on one side that it tipped, you know. Yep. 24-hour cable news cycle created these shows. Now they realize ratings were high for opinion shows. No, again, back to money. Opinion shows make people get dopamine blasts. Learning about the news makes you produce cortisol. You get stressed, right? So then, to make you come back and feel good, they have the opinion shows that suit your opinion. I get it. It all makes sense. Yep, Fox News slowly backed away from Donald. They did that early. Yep, they're not dumb. They're all trying to make money. So I get why people do things. Now, I was thinking the other day about politics and entertainment. And somebody in a nightclub made a joke about the Canadian Prime Minister. The guy was Canadian. And someone asked me if I thought that was the same. And I said, no, actually, I don't. He kind of crapped on Canadian politics in an American venue in America, right? And I thought about it. I was like, all right, it's a political joke, but it's actually not. And I looked at it like, I would say if I went to England and I made a joke about Americans being kind of dumb and they would chuckle, or I did a gig not long ago that was all English people, and I said something like, you know, your television shows are a few bars ahead of ours. They all laughed. Now, I do agree to that. I do think English TV's better. But if I was in England and I made a joke about us having dumb politics or a horrible president, to me, it's almost like me self-deprecating humor in another country to get them to... I get it. To me, that's not the same. But, like, let's use an entertainment group as an example. The Dead Kennedys. Now, if you listen to their records, their first record, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, the first song's called Kill the Poor, and it is very political. They're a very political band, but it's a satire of a song. They're not saying names. They're not stating which poor. They're not saying which country. It's political satire. Brilliant. Their second record, In God We Trust, literally starts shouting names. Ronald Reagan, Jerry Falwell, right? The religious right, the right-wing politicians. And the thing is, that whole band's premise is politics. It would be like if I came out and was like, hi, I'm a political magician, and you just did literally the whole joke was political jokes. That might be actually kind of cool. Because you're literally like, that's what it is. And if that was that, you'd have to kind of go through all the political. You'd have to kind of be apolitical. At least, I don't know. I'm just thinking out of the box. But I really do think that the dead Kennedys are an example of, they started off more like metaphorical in the political arguments, and they literally then went straight in for the jugular. You know, I'm Governor Jerry Brown. The lyrics to California Uber Alles are, I am Governor Jerry Brown. My aura smiles and never frowns. Soon I will be president. Carter power will soon go away. I will be Führer one day. I command all of you. Now your kids will meditate in school. So he's basically, it's like the dark side of the left. He's kind of making fun of there. He's naming names. It worked. And it's funny because that political jabbing in the mid-'80s really means something again. Pretty interesting. What's up? Thank you. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say on this subject. I mean, I really, like, have been thinking a lot about why I would get so, like, ugh. When people, like, do a political joke in a show, I'm like, it's like, to me, hearing the cheap laughs that magicians would do with, like, show me the clean hand, it's an old-fashioned way to get applause in the old days was, for your last magic trick, make American flag appear. If you make an American flag appear, everybody's going to clap and stand up. So there are ways to get applause with some cheap things. And, like, none of them, to me, are tied to your character of who you are as a person. And to me, ultimately, when you walk out, yeah, Pipeline, California Pipeline, Murphy's Law, rad song. Oh, well, I mean, on the satanic end, it's non-political. It really isn't. You can go either way. I would say politically, the libertarian one to me looks the most appealing in some of its forms on my end. But I personally don't, you know. Oh, Halloween's brilliant. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah. Political discourse from a perspective of a stage performer magician. Well, you mean, like speeches. Okay, well, people don't really, I don't know if people know this, but Adolf Hitler wasn't a very good speaker, and then they hired a magician to help him named Hanussen, which I believe there's some scripts on a film. Well, okay. Let's take the word performer and magician away and put the word con artist. Because I study con artistry for a reason, on a meta level. Because what ultimately the archetype of a magician came from a shaman, and con artists share history to this too. So, on the thing of speeches, I would say, when I hear politicians, some of them are using techniques that are definitely actual techniques on how to get people to like you on stage. And there are good speakers and there are bad speakers. And so I have fun watching them all. You know, Obama sounded great. You know, he was a pretty good public speaker. I would say Donald Trump is kind of a good public speaker too, but a different type, but also able to put on a show. I mean, really. And he's good at improv, Trump. But like studying somebody like Kamala Harris public speak, she's a good study on public speaking, on how not to do it, you know? Like, so I do like watching debates and public speaking. I love watching debates from a sporting angle. Yeah, I did mention Hanussen. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is he taught Hitler how to public speak, and then they killed him because he was Jewish. Of course they killed him. Terrible. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, they hired magicians to help. I mean, they weren't dumb. They were like, these guys seem to know something. We do. We know how to get people to pay attention because we have to create wonder. Like I said, a magician walks out with a claim, a crazy claim. And so how do you get someone to listen to this crazy claim? Well, you better be good at public speaking. The other thing that's one of my hobbies is I really like studying religious, charismatic preachers. I love it. Well, I mean, that's what he sold himself on, was a businessman. That's what his sell was. You like studying criminals, con artists, grifters. Yeah, I mean, okay, so the reason why they're fascinating, con artists, in my opinion, is it's usually a life or death situation. They're doing some, ballsy things that they're risking their money or their lives. And so the techniques they use have to work. And so they do bold things, but they also do things that are well thought out and worked out. And so they are a fun study. Studying religious leaders like Robert Tilden, Joel Osteen, watching they might be better than all of the above because they're making, like the magician, they're making a claim too. A big one. A metaphysical claim. And so they got to have a lot of balls, but they also have to be able to pull it off with public speaking ability. They have to be able to hold attention and sell something that's crazy. So they better be good. If they're not good, they're gone. Jim Jones, good example. They're all very charismatic. Even, what's his name? Branch Davidians. David Koresh. So Osteen, for me, is... I like studying Joel Osteen, who's the new guy on the block, because of what he did. And you've seen me, Dan, mention this before. He took a fire and brimstone preacher act and watered it down a bit so that, again, dude, it's a great example. He stopped mentioning Jesus so much. I'm not kidding. He took the J out of it a bit, and he made it a little more open to people that might not be. I mean, my sister who's in here is a Catholic, and she likes Joel Osteen. Why? In the old days, Catholics were told not to watch those guys because they're not Catholic. But Joel Osteen realized that if he watered it down a bit, whatever message he was throwing out there, it would hit more ears. More people would listen. So he watered it down. Notice Joel Osteen doesn't use a cross on the stage. He has his own little weird symbol. He ain't dumb. So that's why I like studying him. He's as a on the con artist, and watch when they ask Joel Osteen what he thinks of homosexuality. Now, the old fire and brimstone guys would literally start doing Bible quotes of how God hates gay people. But, oh, dude, yeah, he makes like millions on Sunday. Every Sunday, he makes millions of dollars. If you ask him about gay people, he does the, well, I don't judge. The Lord will judge as he does, and I don't judge. I love everybody. God loves everybody. That's what his answers are like. So he knows not to alienate by, it's very fascinating. I do like him. Yeah, Heaven's Gate is another one. I mean, whoa, that guy with his eyes. Remember him? He never blinked his eyes. How did he learn how to do that? Like, already my eyes hurt. Ugh. It's like that, the lady, what's her name, that just got jail time. The con artist businesswoman. Her eyes never blinked, and she talked like this. She lowered her voice. What was her name? She just got 10 years in jail. What's his name? Oh, or her name. I called him. Yeah, she just got in trouble. She also didn't blink her eyes. I actually got to, touch the Heaven's Gate bed. One of their beds, because a friend of mine owned one for a minute. One of the bunk beds. He had it in his garage. I was like, oh my God. This is crazy. Yeah. So, wow. Oh, wow. Wow, Dan, that sounds fun. Really? You got to shoot me the title of that. That's the kind of stuff I like to read. Dude, I love theology. I'm a minor theologian. No, I'm an amateur theologian. That's the word, not minor. What am I talking? I love reading about mythology and religion and its socio-economic ties. The bed, was it comfy? Well, the mattresses were gone. It was just the frame, and I did not lay in it. Would I have laid down in it if there was a mattress? Probably. I would have taken a picture. I had on this show, if you look at my past episodes, Throdini, he had one, and he sold it. It got sold. Wow. Oh, yeah. Those are fun. Oh, my God. Heaven's Gate. Remember they had weird shoes? They all had, like, special shoes. Yeah, I mean, we all like studying this stuff. I mean, that's why I like this group. It's a good chat group of people that like forbidden knowledge and whatnot. I'm pouring my drink. Wow, folks, that was a long episode. I'm like still like blah, 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 blah. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, really, that was a mouthful. It's like blah 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 blah. Wow. All right. I don't know what to say after that. I don't know what to take from it all. I will continually never put politics in my shows. I will always try to make my shows better by just trying to make my stuff more wonderful. That's all. How can I make somebody experience wonder on a better level? That will ultimately be what I always try to strive for. It's very simple. It's not complicated. I try not to pollute it with my own stuff. I mean, I try to share my inner loves, but not my values. Like, I don't try to put them on a dish and serve them. I'd rather just share myself, and in myself, my values should be pretty clear. Yeah, that was fast. All right, I'm going to sit here and sip my soda and read more. I wanted to do a shout out next week if we do the show. I am going to be giving away some stuff that Sean Auberg produces. I have issue 1 and 2 of Diverse magazine. These are awesome zines, really good. I'm going to make packages of swag. So that's next week. So if you're new to this show, hit the like, hit the subscribe, please. If you're new and I don't know you, say hi in the chat now. You get points every time you chat. Just chatting gets you points. And you can order stuff on the chat. It's in the thing. It's in the below. Jim says give him $500. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Thank you. I mean, hey, thank you, Fallon. I had a blast. I do these to learn myself, like if you guys, it spawns you to think about new things and look them up, great. But ultimately, I learn too. Anybody that donates, hey, it goes to me, which goes in the show. All the equipment of this show is paid for by the viewers, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been a great time doing these shows. I really do enjoy that this is here, and I'm going to turn it up a bit. It's getting cold out. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, and I do have some cool stuff in the works. I'm also working on a show on some of the nasty candies I like. I like some snack foods that are considered to be kind of gross, so that's one show I'm working on. So awesome. If you have any show suggestions or things that I do in my shows that you want to see more of, let me know. You can find me on Cardone Magic on Instagram. Cardone Magic. I believe you can message me here, but I don't really get messages on my YouTube stuff too much. And yeah, hey, without a live show, this would not exist. And tonight was awesome. So thank you very much. Shout out to all my donors and viewers. And I will see you probably next Monday, unless I get this gig. So party on, Wayne, and I'm going to take us out with our trailer. Over and out. Thank you.
that's not a fuck you. As far as artists, I would like to say fuck you to. I don't know. A lot of people think I hate Rob Zombie. I don't hate Rob Zombie. I mean, Rob Zombie's great if you're a 12-year-old boy.
Not a big fan of the Halloweens or everything he's got doing now.
What, the remakes?
Yeah, yeah.
That are bad? No, not at all. I think they suck. It's derivative crap, and his wife can't act.
Did you see the new movie that he just did?
Why should I? It's awful.
It's the worst one yet.
Okay, great.
So
he's a media construct, okay?
Yes,
you
definitely.
go to his show, you see Dracula and Frankenstein, okay? That was original about 100 years ago. Rob.
So get your shit together, Rob Zombie. Basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the people have spoken. This guy, anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though you sell 20 million records and stuff, you know, it does get under his skin that I bitch about him because recently Rob kicked us off of his festival that he's doing this.
The Mayhem?
Yeah, we were supposed to do it in L.A. and they bumped us off of it because Oderus basically said that his stuff was copycat derivative bullshit, and the fact that he kept giving his wife these acting jobs when she obviously can't act is nepotism at its finest, or crappiest, which is what Hollywood is built on. You know, it's just truth. I'm not like saying anything that's not true.
Right, 100%. I mean, obviously, something like a festival would be something fantastic for people who don't know what you're seeing. And
no,
get
it's
a
cool.
chance to see.
They got rid of Guad, you know, and I think Rob reached out to Lordy. So, you know, he really got his artistic chops in a row right there.